In this video, we are going to talk about the posture of prayer. Now, the truth is, you can pray walking your dog and you can pray while you're driving, but oftentimes when you pray in that way, you can get a little bit distracted. And just like when you talk with someone and they're distracted and that gets you distracted and the conversation then isn't super helpful, in the same way, when we pray, we should remember that we're about to talk to the God of the universe, and it's an important thing to be focused and to free ourselves from distraction and to have some reverence with that. So, when you pray, and if you're new at this, how do you start? Well, what I would do is I would take a deep breath and just remember what you're doing. You're about to talk, you're about to connect with the very God of the universe who wants to hear from you, right? So I would take a deep breath and then just do the basics. Fold your hands and close your eyes, and this will free you from distractions for the most part. There's one other step if you're interested when you pray, and that is to kneel when you pray. This seems a little bit old-fashioned, but this really is an ancient practice, and you can kneel by your bedside. There doesn't have to be a special place that you kneel. I don't get to kneel every time I pray, but every time I have kneeled, it's been meaningful. It's just this posture of prayer, this posture of reverence and focus. Now, another question about prayer is, well, when do you pray? Now, you can pray anytime you want. You don't need to schedule a time. But I will say, if you don't schedule prayer, most likely you won't pray. So God's people used to pray 3 times a day, in the morning, during lunch, and at night. What I would do, especially if you're new to prayer, is to pick one of those times, morning, lunch, or night, set it in your alarm, maybe 5 times or 3 times a week, and take that time, 5 minutes. I wouldn't do any more than 5 minutes. We can flip through our phones in 5 minutes. It's no problem. 5 minutes in prayer will be a challenge, really, especially if you're new at praying. So I would take those 5 minutes and pray during a specific time of day to kind of get into that rhythm of prayer. But one of the best things about prayer is if you plan prayer, you'll actually pray, and then you'll grow in prayer. The last thing we'll talk about is what to pray. Now, we have a whole nother video for that, but I will say a lot of people worry about saying the right words. I wouldn't worry too much about saying the right words. Just have a conversation with God and realize that prayer is a spiritual practice. It takes practice. So at first it might be a little hard to get those words out. What are the right words? But over time, you'll find out the right things to say. I hope this has been helpful. Check out our other videos.